Hi there, this is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing you the Wrestling Time post show. And for tonight, I'll be reviewing Monday Night Raw. All right, so before we get started, we had some news break earlier today, as revealed by Triple H in the Ringer. Um, so this year's Survivor Series is War Games. We're gonna have two War Games matches, a men's match and a women's match. They're not gonna be SmackDown versus Raw. They're gonna be more storyline driven. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. You know, it's been a while since we had a War Games match, and we used to have them on NXT. Now they're going to be on the main roster, so it's actually something I look forward to. I know obviously the Bloodline's going to be involved in the men's War Games match, but the question is against who? And for the women, I think Damage Control is more than likely to be involved in the women's War Games match. We just got to figure out who's going to be teaming up with them. I can't wait for Extreme Rules. Yeah, same here. Like, even Extreme Rules is shaping up to be a good pay per view. But, I normally don't mind a traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. What I did mind was a whole Raw versus SmackDown element to it. Like, I remember I missed a classic 5-on-5 Survivor Series, like Team DX versus Team Rated RKO or Team Bischoff versus Team Austin. I think WWE missed a perfect opportunity to have Team Sonya Deville versus Team Adam Pearce, but that's a whole different story. But anywho, with that being said, let's start with this review. So tonight's Monday Night Raw started off hot and strong with the U.S. title match. It was Seth freaking Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. And this was a good match. Obviously, let's see. I definitely want Bayley to win the Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. Oh, I think she is going to win. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So this match was a good match. And my favorite spot in this match was when Seth Rollins tried to do the curb stomp and like Lashley did not go down. Like he blocked it with his own strength. Like he did not go down. And I thought that was a really, really cool spot in this match. But dang, like Bobby Lashley picked up Seth Rollins at one point and he just threw him into the ring post like nothing. So it was a really fun match, and I'm really glad that they're making the U.S. title relevant again. You know, when Vince was in charge, the U.S. title didn't mean anything. So good showcase of the U.S. title tonight. I was a little confused as to why this wasn't the main event, but then I remembered why it wasn't the main event, and I'll talk about that as I get into the review. But of course, like I didn't think Seth Rollins was going to win this, which is that's part of the reason why it wasn't the main event. So another spot that I liked in this match was that spear to pedigree spot. Like Bobby Lashley went for the spear and Seth Rollins countered with the pedigree, which was a really cool spot if you ask me. And so then Lashley managed to put Rollins into a hurt lock. And then after that, like the ref had his back turned and Seth kicked Bobby Lashley into the groin, but Matt Riddle came out and he distracted Rollins, which allowed Bobby Lashley to hit Rollins with the spear and win. So overall, good opening match. I really, really liked it. So next we had Damage Control Championship Celebration. You guys all know championship celebrations, contract signings, and weddings in wrestling never go as planned. And this was no exception. So Bayley, obviously being from San Jose, this was like a hometown celebration for her. Even though they booed her, they booed their hometown favorite out of the building. She said that she bought gold to them since the San Jose Sharks can't get it done for them. And Bayley started thanking Dakota Kai and Io Sky for coming along for the ride and believing in her vision. She says that the vision doesn't need Asuka, Belair, or Alexa Bliss. Welcome. So basically, Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa come out, and Bayley starts talking about how like Alexa's a shell of her former herself. The only one that bites is Lily, and she's basically like saying that Asuka and Alexa are just accessories to Bianca, but they don't fit the picture. And so Alexa Bliss challenges Bayley later on tonight. So like I said, it wasn't too much of a disaster, but it was still crashed. All right, so we had Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens. This is a match I was looking forward to since last week after Kevin Owens cut that incredible promo on Austin Theory. There was no way this match wasn't going to disappoint, and I was right. It didn't disappoint. Austin Theory attacking Kevin Owens before the start of the match. A Theory bounced KO off the announce table. At one point, Theory was dominating Kevin Owens. Then Kevin Owens managed to turn things around. At some point, like Theory had set the Money in the Bank briefcase aside because he was going to use it. Then Johnny Gargano came out and took that briefcase, and he was basically just like mocking Theory with it. And then Kevin Owens hit that pop-up power bomb, and he was victorious. And so then Johnny Gargano came into the ring, and he was like dangling the briefcase, and he dropped it onto Theory. So it's not over between Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. I'm very curious to see like if they have a match at Extreme Rules and what type of match they would have. I don't know, or maybe they'll save it for like Crown Jewel, but I definitely do see that there's going to be like a match brewing between them. Who would go over? I think that would be a really interesting question to see who goes over Johnny Gargano or Austin Theory. On one hand, you're trying to build up Austin Theory the right way. On the second hand, you don't want Johnny Gargano to lose what would be his first pay-per-view match on the roster. So it'd be interesting to see who goes over in that situation. So we have a Matt Riddle segment backstage, and he's asked about why he did what he did to Rollins, and he said he got payback for last week. He's gonna hunt him down until he gets his rematch. And he basically talks about how Bayley and Damian Priest used to be cool dudes, and now they dress like those emo kids from South Park. If you've never watched South Park, the emo kids are always just like these group of kids who are wearing like all black. I think they like smoke cigarettes. It's just like I haven't seen South Park in a while, but I remember those emo kids, so I get that reference. And so he basically goes on to say how Rey helped him out last week. Now he's going to return the favor. So one of the things that I'm starting to notice about Ron, things that I like, is a continuity aspect so far. So it's like each week, whatever happens on this Raw this week is going to play into what happens next week and so forth. So I really, really like that. It feels like what happens one week plays into effect next week and then so forth. I really, really like that. Then we had an incredible match between the Brawling Brutes and the Street Profits. Well, it actually didn't start off as a match. It was more of a promo, but then Street Profits interrupted, and we got this match. So this was actually a really surprisingly good match. Butch targeting Montez Ford's fingers off the entire match. I really like that thing that Sheamus does. I like that Butch and Ridge Holland did that to Montez Ford. But like my other favorite spot in this match was that super blockbuster that they did to Butch. And but despite all that, Brawling Brutes end up being victorious. And if you ask me, they needed this win since they are going to challenge for the tag titles. I don't think that they're going to lose. I mean, remember first, I don't think that they're going to win the tag titles, but it's going to be a good match, and it's a nice change of pace from the usual matches that we get with the Usos. How many times do you see the Usos versus the Street Profits? How many times do you see the Usos versus the New Day? How many times do we see the Usos versus RK Bro? And just a nice change of pace. So I'm really happy. It's going to be a different. I don't think we've seen the Brawling Brutes versus the Usos yet. So really happy it's going to be a change of match. This match, Brawling Brutes versus Street Profits, was actually good. So really enjoyed it. But what do you guys think so far of the match? Like, are you guys happy we're going to get a different match than normally? All right, so we get a Rey Mysterio segment. And he said he could have stopped Judgment Day if he knew about all the resentment Dominic had. So he was basically talking about how, like, last week Dominic cut a promo. It was okay, but he sounded really monotone. So he really needs to improve his delivery of the promo. It's not what you say, it's how you say it that counts. And Dominic's delivery of that promo fell flat last week. And Rey goes on to say that, like, he's never going to give up on his son, that everything he has, he worked really hard to provide a life that he never had and provide him with opportunities. But he can't speak the same about Priest and Balor. So like Ray's conflicted. Like on one hand, Dominic is his son and he doesn't want to hurt him, but at the same time, I feel like that's what this is going to lead to. It's going to probably lead to Dominic versus his old dad. And I really like the fact that Ray said something in Spanish. I always love it when Latino wrestlers say stuff in Spanish. So we get a quick Alpha Academy segment, and Chad Gable is approached by Johnny Gargano is approached by Chad Gable. And this basically is talking about how Gable has a problem with Johnny Gargano, and then KO shows up and says that if they have a problem with Gargano, they have a problem with KO. And next week, they said that they're going to be in Edmonton. So it's going to be Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens versus Alpha Academy in his home country. And so Chad Gable tries to go back, but Kevin Owens doesn't let him. He said it already, and it's son. So that's actually going to be a pretty banger of a match when you think about it. So I'm really looking forward to that match. Just like I'm looking forward to Strowman versus Otis on SmackDown. I really hope they don't gimmick the ring, and they probably are going to gimmick the ring because you got to have that ring break, right? Because you got two giants going at it. So that's exactly what's going to happen. We get a Judgment Day promo. And they're starting talking about how, like, it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your friends, but an even greater bravery to stand up to your dad. Kind of reminds me of that Harry Potter line where Dumbledore tells Neville it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but even more bravery to stand up to our friends. I know I totally butchered the line, but you guys get what I'm saying. And Rhea basically says that Judgment Day took out everybody that's been in front of them. They make a reference to Edge's mountain of omnipotence. They said they didn't even understand what that meant or what he meant by that. Yeah, that's true. Like, Edge was talking about a mountain of omnipotence. Rhea tells Dominic Poppy's very proud of him. And Dominic says he couldn't be even more proud of his family. And then they take a family picture. And so then Matt Riddle interrupts, and then this leads into Rey Mysterio and Matt Riddle versus the Judgment Day. Honestly, to be kind of honest, like, I'm getting kind of tired of this feud with the Judgment Day and Rey Mysterio. I kind of feel like we need to move on from it. They've been feuding for a while. It's taken this long for Dominic to turn on his dad. I don't know how much longer it'll take for Dominic to have that match with Rey Mysterio. 10 points to Gryffindor. So I think that's what ultimately it's building to. Dominic versus his dad is just taking a while to get there. And I wouldn't be tired of this whole feud if it hadn't been going on for a while. But it's been going on for like a while now. And I feel like we need to move on. But I know I'm hoping once that match happens, we officially move on. So in this match, Finn Balor attempted to do the Three Amigos, but he couldn't. Rey Mysterio countered. Rhea attacking Matt Riddle on the outside. I actually dug that. I really dug that. Even though Rey tried to do a 619 to Finn Balor, Rhea distracted the ref, which allowed Seth Rollins to attack Matt Riddle. Like, he grabbed the chair and he attempted to hit Riddle, but Rey grabbed it and chased him away. And then, Dominic was pretty much egging on his dad to hit him, but Rey didn't. So this cost him the match because Balor hit the coup de grace to the Rey's chest, and Judgment Day ended up winning. Like I said, I'm sure that's what this is leading to, but it's going to be a while before we get there. And so backstage, you have a brawl between Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. And basically, Seth Rollins finally accepts Matt Riddle's proposal for a rematch. And we get it's going to be Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules in a fight pit match, which you can only win by submission or knockout. So that should be an interesting match. And we'll see if that puts an end to the rivalry. All right, so then we're supposed to get MizTV with Dexter Lumis. This is kind of So the Miz is basically talking about how he wasn't here last week because of Dexter, and how Dexter Lumis crossed the line by stepping into his house uninvited. And he was talking about how his daughter Madison just turned 3, and he had a Minions theme party for her, but he punched a Minion because he thought Dexter Lumis is one of the minions. He said he was going crazy and questions why him. Bayley would win at Extreme Rules. Yeah, she's definitely going to win. That's for sure. So, like, as Miz is talking, you could see someone cut from under the ring. And, like, Lumis pops out and he tries to take the Miz. And, like, I know this is going to lead to Lumis versus the Miz at some point. But I just feel like, you know, how much longer are we going to get there to take, how much longer is it going to take to get to the storyline? They are dragging out this feud, Miz Lumis feud. I'm starting to get more and more and less interested. Yeah, same here. They're really dragging it out. They really are. And eventually, they have to pull the trigger. Like, let's just have them get a match and move on. So, we get a quick backstage segment with the Judgment Day, and Dominic like starts acting like he's like down on the dumps and wants to check on his dad, and then like he just starts laughing because he's actually kidding, and he says that he has a new mommy now and that she knows best. So I'm assuming Rhea's his mommy. And so as they're walking, like Finn Balor approaches AJ Styles, which we haven't seen AJ Styles in a while. I think it's like, how long has it been since the last time we saw AJ Styles on Raw? It's been that long because I don't remember. I gotta go through all my notes to figure out. All right, so basically, Finn approaches AJ and they say they haven't spoken since Balor turned his back on him and during Judgment Day. Finn Balor makes a point to say that he hasn't turned his back on Styles, and Styles wants no part of Judgment Day. And Balor kind of eggs him on, like saying, "Are you looking for a fight, AJ?" And he tells him the offer still stands, but AJ doesn't want to join Judgment Day. So Dominic on the mic tonight, he has go away heat from that reaction of the crowd. Oh yeah, the crowd totally booed Dominic. Like, dang, like, wow, that was intense. Like, that was babyface Roman Reigns type of reaction right there. But to go back to the Balor AJ stuff, like I would not mind if they do Balor versus AJ Styles again. We haven't had that match in such a long time. I think we only had it once, and the only reason we had it was because Balor's original opponent was out with meningitis. He's just off on the mic. Yeah, he is. So I would not mind them running it back. You know, I wonder if instead of having Judgment Day, we have like Balor Club. We should have gotten a heel Balor Club instead of Judgment Day. But that's just me. So the main event ended up being Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. So I think the reason why this was a main event was because I totally forgot they were going to be in San Jose. And Bayley is from San Jose. So I think that was the whole reason this was the main event. Now, commentary makes note of the fact that the last time Alexa and Bayley faced each other was on April 8th, 2019, and that was when Alexa Bliss defeated Bayley in her hometown. We only got Balor versus at TLC 2017. That's because Roman was sick. Yeah, I remember that. And like Alexa Bliss coming out like her old self, she was being extremely aggressive in this match. I really like that sliding clothesline to the back of Alexa. Bayley trying to put her feet on the rope, but Bianca caught her. Bianca getting sent into the ring post, and then Asuka tried to attack Dakota Kai, but she ended up crashing into steel steps. Dakota Kai distracted the referee while Io Sky knocked Alexa from the ropes, and Bayley hit the rose plant to Alexa, so Bayley won. So a nice change of pace, a hometown wrestler winning in their hometown. Granted, they are heels, so they got booed, but it's still a nice change to see the fact that they won in their hometown. And so the whole entire time, Bayley has been ducking Bianca's challenge to a match, and Bayley finally accepts and says that she wants a Raw title at Extreme Rules. I thought that match was just mediocre. They have no chemistry together, yeah. So I wonder if it's going to be a regular match or is it going to be a type of an Extreme Rules match. I know the last time they were supposed to have a match, it was supposed to be an I Quit match, but unfortunately that did not happen. But with that being said, tonight's Raw was not too bad. There were a couple of things I didn't like. Like I said, the whole Dexter Lumis stuff, I feel like it's getting dragged out. The whole feud with Judgment Day, Rey and Dominic, I feel like that's getting dragged out a little bit. But aside from that, I really did like everything else. And the main event, I feel like, was only the main event because it was Bayley's hometown, but it was okay. Glad that Survivor Series is going to give War Games finally something fresh than the outdated, tiring 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. So I talked about this in the beginning, but I'll talk about it again since you brought it up. I personally did not mind the traditional 5-on-5 match. What I did mind was the whole Raw versus SmackDown aspect of the match. That is what I mind. You know, I miss the days where we had like Team DX versus Team Rated RKO or Team Bishop versus Team Austin. You know, we had when they did that whole storyline with Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, and there was tension between them. They missed an opportunity to do a Sonya Deville versus Team Adam Pearce storyline at Survivor Series. So I have no problem with the traditional 5-on-5 as long as it's not SmackDown versus Raw. 7 out of 10 show no bring on Grand Slam on Wednesday so I can enjoy it live. Oh yeah, you're gonna be there and have fun, Michael. So for me, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. Was a decent Raw. There were things I didn't like, but overall, pretty decent show. So with that being said, that concludes this review. I do have a thing to say, a small little announcement. So I did get this in the mail recently. If you saw my community post, I said I was filming the unboxing. So I finished the unboxing and I'm working on putting it all together. So it should be out by tomorrow. If not by tomorrow, the latest Thursday. But I'm aiming for tomorrow. The modern War Games match will never be like the NWA WCW ones. The original ones from the 80s were brutal with Dusty and his team versus the Four Horsemen and whatnot. Yeah, I heard about those. So make sure you keep an eye out on this unboxing. Like I said, should be out by tomorrow or the latest Thursday. But I'm trying to aim for tomorrow. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday after AEW Grand Slam. Bye.